What's up, guys?
Hello, gentlemen.
Almost in the books.
Oh, man. I'm excited about this one tonight. This will be interesting, but whoo-wee.
That was
relaxing.
And Dibs
what
had the
that
best
was.
tweet of the weekend. I don't
That
know if
was
you
relaxing.
saw it, Steiny. I don't know. Your checklist, Dibs, that was so on point, and I just took one out of there because it was mine. Willard, all offseason, I've been telling you and Dibs and Steiny, the elbow, what if he gets... And he put himself in harm's way a little too much.
Yeah,
but
a little
he
too
got
much,
hit
but-
and guess what? He got back up.
You
So
know what?
it's football, but he looks like he's good.
Oh, yeah.
That's
So
what-
good.
I saw your check. That's
No,
a bad dude.
he's amazing. He's probably the best quarterback I've ever seen. I'm gonna get ahead. I'm gonna get ahead of the positivity.
But why?
I thought that was in
Why?
me.
That way
Hold
you
on, no,
come
why?
across
Why?
as negative.
Why?
I'll tell you
Like,
what.
why?
thought
Why
that was
would
in me,
you
dude.
got
I'm
all
amazed.
weekend to come out of the gate?
When it comes
and
to
that is a false start.
When it comes
That
to
is 5
football
yards,
delivery.
and we're going to replay first down.
I've
Why?
never seen.
Why?
I've never seen a man throw an inflated piece of leather like this man throws an inflated piece of
boy.
leather.
Why would you come out sarcastic?
yeah.
Why?
I'm not sarcastic. I'm trying to beat you to positivity. That way
stop
you
it.
come across as negative.
Take the L.
And it's a W because I'm a Niner fan and I always have been. Well, for the last hour and a half or
That's
whatever.
for
But
Steve,
yeah, man, Brock Purdy. I mean, Joe Who, Steve Who. He's the guy. He's him.
I will.
It's official.
That's actually what Brandon Ayuk put on his IG. I don't know if you
Yeah.
saw that, but
Him.
this is what I will say. Like I see a lot of people like this in sports, and I know we act like we know these people and we don't. But doesn't Brock surprise? He got something. He's got something underneath the covers there.
Cockiness.
What, and you didn't like. You look at him and you profile him,
But he's hearing the noise.
and great.
No, I
But
told him.
even prior to that, the competitive streak, the whether you want to call it a little bit of a cocky undertone, like to have that, I'm going to cut the ball in between two defenders, run it upfield, and then I'm going to give you a little something. The low key shot at Peterson in the post game presser,
Which he deserved.
yeah, but you wouldn't look at Brock and think that. You look at NBA players
no
and
doubt.
think that. You look at defensive backs
Willard, but
and
I
wide
think it's a
receivers
mechanism that
and think
makes him who he is, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And
But
it's-
he got hit. I was worried about how was he gonna.
Yeah.
And you
And
put
he got
on your.
and he fumbled, right? He got hit and he fumbled.
Yeah, right.
When he got hit. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure before we all go super get him in his gold jacket. Is he a
mine is
44 regular?
physicality.
I'm not even.
No, I'm
You
just
got
saying
4 hours.
he
Yeah.
did get hit and he did fumble. Did that happen or did I?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Right.
I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm just saying that my only concern
What
is
are
that.
you saying?
What I'm saying is that he puts himself in harm's way too much. That's what I'm saying.
I felt that way once or twice.
Right.
Because I had a flashback to Reddick hit.
But,
man.
but I will also say this. We tweak how and when we feel that way when watching a football game, because sit down in 4 hours and watch a quarterback put himself in harm's way.
Josh Allen.
And we don't bring it up much.
6'5", 240.
And he hasn't gotten hurt.
drunk.
And so that's totally fair. But I think we felt that a little extra yesterday because he was coming off of an injury.
And also, I think because he is a little bit more slight of stature.
Sure, no
and
doubt.
when you watch
Sure.
the other quarterback tonight, you'll notice that he almost never puts himself in that same
Not
way.
anymore.
And Tom
He used
Brady,
to. He used to.
Brady, who is the GOAT, would go down at the first sign of any pass rush, or he would throw it away, or he was very good at getting out of harm's way. That's all I'm saying. Brock Purdy was amazing. They played amazing football. I love Steiny, your call earlier about you can't give an A+. I agree. You can give an A-, and I would give them an A-. The penalties and McKivitz,
Wow.
I think those were things. And also the kickoff coverage was a little bit loosey-goosey, but they played great. They went on the road, beat a good team. We'll find out.
They weren't in the
if they're any
playoffs
good.
last year, but
No, but
Pittsburgh was getting popular
boy,
this
they were
last
3-0
week.
in the preseason, and everybody's talking about Kenny Pickett, and the spread was 2. The Niners went on the road in a 10 a.m. game,
Exactly.
and that game was over with after 20 minutes of football?
10-12.
20 to nothing.
Game was over at 10-12.
Basically,
you could see
right,
it.
yeah.
You could see it.
Yeah.
I appreciate, I don't know if you guys heard Kenny Pickett when they asked him, because it wasn't just he looked good in the preseason. He had 5 drives in the preseason. All of them ended in touchdowns.
Okay.
So that's why people were excited, and they said, hey, Kenny, how come it didn't look today
What did
like
he
it
say?
did
I
in the
missed it.
preseason? Well, a lot of times you hear athletes immediately go to, well, we didn't take care of ours and we messed up this. He was just like, I don't know if you guys know this, but the 49ers starting defense is better than what I faced in the preseason.
Wow.
I appreciated that answer.
shocker.
Good for you, Kenny.
kept it real.
That is a correct
He
answer.
kept it real,
Good
Mark.
answer, as they used to say on Family Feud.
Drake Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. Did Javon Kinlaw play? Because I wasn't
Wow.
sure.
Good.
It was
Okay.
actually graded just he graded
Yeah.
pretty well.
Drake Jackson was amazing,
balling.
and Nick Bosa was a little rusty, and it
But he
didn't matter.
played, hella played. Okay.
Sure.
Now I know you don't. Sometimes you don't love the data. I wonder if you guys saw. Did you see who the highest? And you may be a PFF believer, you may not be. Highest graded defensive player for the 49ers yesterday. Who do you think it was?
It was probably it's probably
Yeah, it ain't
Kinlaw.
Drake Jackson.
Bosa.
But how? I
was
don't
Nick
like
Bosa.
that grade
So-
if a guy gets 3 sacks.
Yeah, but why did he get 3 sacks?
Okay, see, okay.
Why did
It's
he
like
get
if
3
Steph Curry
sacks?
goes 10 for 27, he's still the most
think
important
Drake
player.
But
Jackson
whether you
just-
get fundamentally,
I know.
I don't like that. The dude
But-
that got the 3 sacks
Okay, but so-
supersedes
so-
the guy that didn't get
so
0.
The
Right,
PFF
right.
ratings are largely a human rating. There's a human being
Well, everything
deciding.
is. Everything is.
Well, no, if you gain 4 yards, mathematically, you gained 4 yards. The football, based on where the football was and where it is, that has very little to do with humans. I know the human spots it, but when it comes to PFF, it's a human being saying, ooh, yeah, Nick Bosa,
Yeah.
that's a 9 out of 10.
Well, but
That's a 10 out of 10.
Okay, but you can also acknowledge
Right.
that if one person is trying to beat one defender and the other one, I'm sorry, yeah, like one offensive lineman,
Sure,
and the other
sure.
guy is trying to beat 3 offensive linemen, they're not playing on an equal footing.
Right.
So if Drake Jackson
Right.
gets all of the sacks, wow, Drake, and he was great. All credit to Drake Jackson.
But the byproduct.
That's why they had to
get that.
sign the contract and get him here.
Right.
His presence alone changes everything for everybody out there. And he did. I don't think he looked that rusty. He didn't get any sacks. But if you
We had
watched
people
him,
calling. He was
Yeah.
playing too much. McCaffrey should have been pulled. It's for Dibs. It's McKibben's first game. Relax.
he
Right.
dominated. He dominated the people in front of him. He dominated the people in front
Yeah,
of him. He just
yeah.
didn't get home.
The 49ers defense was only on the field like 22 minutes.
Yeah.
So how could he have played too much?
Right. I think
Well, it was
Guru
when
was
the
talking
score.
about McCaffrey.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The
Gotcha.
McCaffrey thing was, I was actually having that same kind of feeling like,
Take him out.
Well, 8 minutes to
Shasky,
go.
take him out.
It was like, okay, take him out. I want to go to the playoffs. Take him out. And then they did take him out. And it's just a little bit of a deep breath because, you would hate to see something in that spot where, I mean, geez, this game was over. When McCaffrey scored from 65 yards out,
the wrap.
it was night-night. Steph Curry put his hands up by his head in his NIMBY backyard in Los Altos Hills, and that was it.
Coaches are always going to be nervous, though. Like, you don't want to let them back in. I'll
Right.
tell you this. Last night, I thought the Cowboys were a bigger offender on this than the 49ers were.
Oh, they
Dak
played.
Prescott, I'm like,
I didn't mind.
I come out.
They're begging for
I'm like,
something
there's
positive,
8
though, Willard,
minutes to go,
offensively.
and
But
it's 40
that lets
to
you know how
nothing.
fragile they are. They needed
I'm
some.
like,
The
get
Titans
Dak-
kept dropping the
Can you
touchdown.
imagine? This guy's broken his leg. He's like, get him out of there. It's 40 to nothing. Call the
And
fight.
then, no, I'm with you.
That was a disgusting football game last night. But anyway.
My biggest takeaway, I told Steiner, you tell me if I'm being too mushy. The Niners got a good vibe in the sense that the downfield blocking. Like, you can half-ass, but the great ones have done it. Jerry, Irvin, Fitzgerald. I'm watching Ayuk. I'm just watching the Niner team. Bosa go to the mic and talk about my quarterback being hated on. And I told Steiny, I know you're going to laugh, but I just feel like they're connected, and I wonder if they're just so tired of coming up second, third place to where Dibs, it's just like, I don't care who gets the numbers. We got something to get, and that's the Lombardi Trophy. That's what I'm getting from the Niners.
And
man.
Ayuk is playing for a contract. And I'm not saying that he went out and blocked like he was playing for a contract, but the way he's playing like a man on fire. And you see that play.
Shout out Denzel.
Yeah, thank you. The touchdown run where he gets the quick chip on the D end, the edge rusher, and then he gets in the secondary and he absolutely mauls a guy and pancakes him. I mean, that's something that if this team has that ethos like you're talking about, then the sky's the limit
Man.
because they are all playing, and he's not out there doing it like, look at me, Kyle, look at me, John, I want to get paid. But he's playing like, Ayuk is playing like he wants to be the best receiver in the game.
He's a great player. But no, there's something to what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I can see it.
They're not the only ones. Like that would be the sort of like milk and cookies way to say it. Like the Niners are the best team.
Yeah.
Like in the whole. There are a lot of teams like that. But yeah, you can give them credit for that. They have largely been a group that's on the same page. The whole era. I know stuff comes up. There are certain players that may not have gelled. You look at a Jerick McKinnon and the way that he left. You look at Jimmy Garoppolo and the way that he left. So it's not always perfect, but they clearly have buy-in. That and that's it's one of the that's a phrase that I look at for any coach in any sport. Do you have buy-in? And we've talked so much about coaches and right now in this market, this team
I just
has
thought of Kapler.
This team's got buy-in more than anyone else. More than the Giants, more than the Warriors. There's buy-in. I mean, nobody. You coaching? There's none of that going on with the 49ers.
We just talked about
right? I mean, add Ross Stripling over to the Alex Wood poker table. He's clearly furious with the communication within the Giants. So that's all a different story for a different day. The Niners, you're totally right. They have a very, very good
and I think it's worth
team
something.
vibe.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Especially in football.
The question is, can you keep that vibe for 17 weeks through adversity and challenges that are likely to come up? You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM, and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. But, I mean, you can't ask for a better, more comprehensive season opening win. I mean, you just can't. There was really there's nothing to nitpick other than couple sacks and the penalties.
Well, it's a football game.
Exactly.
So, right, yeah. Lenore, McKivitz.
Yeah.
McKivitz is going against T.J. Watt. Let's see how that plays out for the next few weeks. But yeah, man, I'm with you. Like you sit down and see a game like that, and you have your first week butterflies, and it's just like 3 and out, and then get the ball, convert a 4th down, punch in face, touchdown. He's got such a rapport with Ayuk. I said to little Jude right as they got 1st and goal, I go, Ayuk's going to get a touchdown, right?
You got him on your team?
One of them.
Steiny's up 3.
I got him on. I got everybody on every team somewhere. But, yeah, I think Ayuk's going to have a big year. I said this is going to be a good spot for him. And you're like, I can let my back hit the back of the couch quick. They're clearly a better team than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's it.
Let me throw this at you. On the first drive, the 4th and 1, I want to throw this to Dibs, too. The throw that Purdy made to Kittle, right on the money. And they ended up getting, I think, 9 or 10 out of it. I think that's the throw Trey Lance struggled with. Yeah, I really do. I think that's a big difference between Purdy and Kittle, because even that throw, if Purdy's behind him, now it gets iffy if he can get his momentum and get the first down. But when you hit Kittle in stride, then it's going to take 8 yards to tackle him.
It's a layup. And those are the layups that he's talking about, because that play was all Kyle Shanahan. You send him in motion, you send him to the right, then you send him back to the left, and by the time you get the snap, you know the defender has no chance. If it's man-to-man and he's trying to shadow you, he's got to be at least 3 yards off to get around his own defensive lineman. So that's an absolute layup. You need 1 yard, maybe you need 1 and change, and that's one, you're exactly right. Purdy gets it, boom to Kittle. Kittle's got one guy to beat, the guy who's supposed to be guarding him, and even if the defensive player steps up to try to tackle him, George Kittle's going to probably move him forward and get the first down. So that's exactly what you're talking about, the layup. And you mentioned the one earlier when he reverses all the way around, when he just completely deked the guy. And Steiny, you said it. It's that short area quickness. He's not fast. He's not traditionally fast, and he may not be quick, but that first step his ability to spin around and just buy that time, that to me was the play where it was like, okay, all right, Brock, I see you.
It's sneaky though. When he's not fast and he's not quick, he's not fast,
Yeah, no,
and he's not quick.
No, but he mentioned
Like-
the quickness, which is like short area quickness.
Yeah,
like,
he's got a burst, and again,
it's like Alex English when I watched him play basketball.
Oh,
it's
man.
like, dude, he's so slow,
Yeah,
but you couldn't guard him because there was that first step,
nugget.
the first step, the nugget.
I just,
nuggets,
I
you
just
know.
think there's a skill that really good athletes have that you can't even really necessarily quantify it, but they've got this. I don't know if it's anticipation, the ability to make decisions without even thinking about it, and they're the right decisions. I listened one time to Barry Bonds years ago talk about hitting, and, right? That. Well, it wasn't in person, but anyway, it's not like we were having coffee or something. Anyway, he used to talk about how he would almost like try to act like he was catching the ball with the bat. And the way that the anticipation for a great hitter starts before the ball is even released from the pitcher. And there's little tiny things that it's not that even that they see him, they almost sense him to know, is this a fastball? Is this a curveball? And the great ones just sort of, it just happens in real time. And he feels like that to me. I'm not calling him a great one, but his ability to dart, to make the right decision, to create when somebody comes up the middle or whatever is really good. Yeah. And that's what makes a really good player. Like the Niners have their quarterback, man. That's for me. I walk away with that sentence today.
And I
the Niners have their quarterback.
I'm calling him John Stockton, and you could call it Magic Johnson, whatever, point guard Isaiah, but his ability to process it and get rid of it, Mark, that's half the battle, man. That ain't about arm strength. That ain't. I mean, I saw Pickett where he's going against the Niners, but you could see the Wi-Fi was a little, there was a little something up with the Wi-Fi, just a little slow to, like, Brock ain't got that, Dibs. It's just his thoughts. He knows what he's doing.
Y'all see this Pickett highlight?
There's you had one.
I think in the world of Pittsburgh media, there is some discussion about whether or not in the first quarter Pickett got the bell rung. One of Drake Jackson's sacks is a pretty good bounce on the ground with Pickett's head.
Do I take with that the Steelers would have won had he not got his bell?
Not at all.
Okay, Dibs. Welcome to the X.
No, but
the new Twitter.
Thank you.
No, but could Pickett still?
Oh, okay. With the slow. All right.
I mean, there was excitement coming out of that preseason that they're like, he's about to take a leap.
But they got D'd up. But I hear what you're saying.
That's what he's saying. He's like, that was the Niners.
Right.
Give me a second.
That's right.
Like,
He's telling the truth.
Can I get a game against Houston or something like that before we all freak out? But that's week one. We've all got definitions now, and quite frankly, none of them are necessarily true.
Exactly. I mean, to me, the big picture of this week is we think it's going to be a 3-team race in the NFC, and the 3 best teams won, all 3 on the road. 2 of them very impressive, and we move on. Now you can take control of the division with a win against the Rams.
We do have some breaking news.
Uh-oh.
The other defensive line holdout has come to a close. The Kansas City Chiefs.
How much did he get?
And defensive tackle Chris Jones have agreed to terms on just a 1-year deal. Just a 1-year deal. Terms not disclosed as of yet. So that's coming. But Chris Jones is coming for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I don't know if you've looked ahead at week 2 yet. They're at Detroit Sunday.
Oh, that's
and
man.
that is. I'm sorry.
I was like, they just
Seattle.
played
It's a rematch.
It's
a rematch.
Seattle's at Detroit.
Okay.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Right.
Seattle is at Detroit. But the Kansas City Chiefs are at Jacksonville. That's what I meant, which is a big
they're balling.
Playoff rematch. Yeah. They are at Jacksonville.
They got receivers. They got everything you want.
Yeah,
and a young quarterback who, not a throw he can't make. Jacksonville is. They're called the flavor of the month.
Kansas City staring at, that's a 0-2 possibility.
Kelsey playing? We don't know.
Probably, but that's one of the things that probably came up in these discussions. We got to get our guys back and go get a win this weekend.
I did the legal already.
You did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't look at me.
I got out of bed this morning after watching that game, and I promise you this. I said, Goo, went third person. I said, it's all about yesterday and this year. But why I tell my man on a daily basis is Super Bowl or bust for me, and we've broken that down, Dibs, to where that doesn't mean I'm ignoring the good times and the wins that got you there.
Sure.
But the Niners since 2019, that's why I'm not going overly crazy about yesterday. They set standards, and I feel like they should have a Super Bowl already. They've been damn good, and they're better now. So that's why it's, to me,
Yeah.
I'm like, you could give me Dallas. They can't even run in between the tackles. Well, they didn't have to yesterday.
Didn't have to, yeah.
I'm telling you, this Niner team is ready. They're prime, man.
I liked what
That's
Steiny
all.
said last week, though, in terms of like how you have to look at it. And right now, it's playoffs or bust. And so you should be a playoff team. If you don't make the playoffs, then we have major problems. So you make the playoffs. You're one of 7 to make the playoffs, and hopefully you are the number 1 seed, and then you get a bye and you got home field throughout. But even if you don't, then you look at the playoffs and you think, okay, now can we look at Super Bowl or bust? Because only 7 teams will make the playoffs in the NFC, and only those 7 teams can actually say Super Bowl or bust. The other 9 in the conference will be out. So can you be one of the 7 to make the playoffs? Well, you damn well better be, especially
So you're
based
saying
on...
it's dangerous for me because I'm assuming that the Niners are going to make the playoffs.
It's not dangerous, but it's a little bit premature. I think that first and foremost, you have to think about playoffs or bust. And I think you could say playoffs or bust and look at this team and say, if you don't make the playoffs with this team, no matter
and that's
what
I'm saying, Willard.
No matter what, that's a failure.
I mean, it's obviously premature.
However,
here's the however. I'll just admit this because I know we're all thinking it. Imagine a scenario that they don't win this division. How? How the hell? And maybe the Rams
or an injury,
but like what?
Other than that,
earth?
There's none.
The only thing that anyone could have been scared about before yesterday was Seattle. Well, we are hearing that Seattle has got a pretty good squad. And one loss does not mean that they don't.
Oh my God! What did Gino say?
The home of the 12th man. And you bring somebody. Well, how do you pronounce this guy's name?
I can't.
Puka Shell is in there for Cooper Kupp.
100%.
And he's
Puka Nacua.
Puka Nacua is torching you for a 23-0 second half in your own building. What the hell was that?
So you see where I'm going of the
oh my God, assuming
that they're going to get there.
Of course they should win the NFC West. They should clinch it by week 4. I mean, my God. Yes. The NFC has what I would call 4+ teams. I don't know who's going to join the party.
And it may be all new because all 3 last year lost. Yeah, just one week
Green
yesterday.
Bay might be a squad.
Jordan Love.
Washington's got a defense. Can they dance around a little bit? We'll find out. Can Seattle rebound? The Saints. I don't know. But this is the Niners. This is Dallas. This is Philly. And I like Detroit. And it should come down to that.
All right, gentlemen, take it away. Have a great show. It should be fun. And season couldn't have gotten off to a better start if you're a Niner fan.